Today on Starfield Essentials, your weekly Starfield news report. Enemies dock and board. A new way to find POIs. Visit landmark quests easily. Get directions from NPCs. Fly higher with jetpacks. Debug with a pistol. The 6-week patch cycle and likely DLC announcement. Starfield moves up again in Nexus Mods. And awesome Starfield live-action concept trailer. All stories have chapter markers for easy navigation and links in the description for sourcing. My name is Richard. Let's get started. Enemies dock and board. 2 weeks ago, I profiled the Better Boarding Encounters mod by Steve King, which made it possible for enemies to board your ship in space combat. The condition was that you had to dock with the enemy ship first. This was a big step forward in my opinion, and it definitely added a cool new mechanic to space battles. Now, modder Eagle 4 has taken the next step and introduced a mechanic that lets enemies initiate their own docking process. That's right, depending on the circumstances and in-game variables, you could find yourself the victim of a docking attempt by an enemy ship. Enemies Boarding My Ship is available on Nexus Mods. Although I think it would be more accurate to call this mod Enemies Docking with My Ship. You see, Eagle 4 has made their mod compatible with Steve King's work. You use the Enemies mod to initiate the hostile docking. Then you use Better Boarding Encounters to have the enemies actually board your ship. Basically, just install both mods and be sure they are enabled in the gameplay settings. For this footage, I activated the testing setting in the Enemies mod. This made my ship susceptible to boarding if a hostile ship fired on me from within 400 meters. Let's take a look at this in action. I have the testing setting enabled, so as soon as a ship gets a hit on me within 400 meters, my engines should be disabled. There we go. Engine failure, boarding possible. And now my ship's engines will shut down. The other ship will come into range, and we will see a docking, kind of a little weird docking animation there, or lack of animation. Now I'm going to get up out of my seat because I hear the alarm, something's going on. Hopefully my companions are dealing with business. Okay, warning hazard detected. That's from Better Boarding Encounters. Now we get the intruder alert. Oh, I love it. Look at the guy standing right there. Oh, get him. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'm taking shots to the head. This is great. I love this. I love the combination of these two mods. So remember, you use the docking mod to make this happen, to have the ship initiate the docking on yours, and then you have Better Boarding Encounters make the boarding actually happen. Who knows if the two of these will be combined at what point. I know Steve King and Eagle 4 have been talking to each other. Oh, look at this smack to the head with that guy. Man, this guy is not going down easily. He's a security captain. Oh, he's got that, what is that, mag shear? And we're going to finish this guy off. I love the TN's Plasma Laredo. That's what's giving those green effects. So, great mod. Great job, Eagle 4 and right? Steve King.
Have a stellar day. Bye.
Wanted to mention that initially I had a problem getting this Enemies mod to activate, and I was able to solve it by following this process. Exit the game, disable the mod, start the game, create a new save, exit the game, enable the mod, start the game, and enable and test the new enemy docking settings. Thank you Steve King and Eagle 4 again for adding these fun enhancements to Starfield, and thank you subscribers. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. Less than a third of viewers seeing my videos are subscribers. If you want to tell the world and YouTube that you enjoy positive and honest Starfield content, subscribing is a great way to do that. Oof, thank you. Next, a new way to find POIs. I've featured a ton of mods on this channel, dedicated to making the POI system more interesting. This past week, I found a modder named Polvo Voss, who is taking a different approach. Their idea is to add a fixed location for certain POIs to the game, so that players are guaranteed to find them if they know where to look. Permanent POIs is available on Nexus Mods. To investigate how this mod works, I took a look at it in Xedit. Here we can see that on Nemeria 4A, the modder installed a permanent deserted ecliptic garrison and a permanent deserted colony war barracks. Here's another example from the Delta Pavona system for the planet Arachna. Here we have Forgotten Military Base and something called Mesa Military Outpost. Using the form ID, I looked up that POI in Starfield.esm and saw that the Mesa Military Outpost is called the Deserted Freestar Collective Garrison in-game. I featured this POI in a video a year ago. If you want to see the systems where all of the POIs are located, here's a chart. Spoilers. 3, 2, 1, okay. What's cool about this approach is that it works with the Starware search engine, a PC-only mod on Nexus Mods by Laurent Kiar. Now, Paul Voss released a second mod, also designed to add POIs or augment them. Permanent POIs, Evil Beyond, is available on Nexus Mods. And here you can see me using the Star Wars search engine to look for a pipeline control center, and it turns out there are two in the Kumasi system. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Now, I also looked at this mod in Xedit and found that it adds a bunch of less used POIs and customizes them by adding enemies and other treasures. Here's that pipeline control center, by the way. I battled some hostile robots added by this mod. This is great work. Thank you, Paul Voss. I'd like to give an honorable mention to one more POI mod. This one's by Holtz Stam, and it adds one POI. UC Radar Outpost, aka Abandoned UC Radar Station, is available on Creations. This POI gets added to the Radiant POI list. It appears to be only available if you land and look around. I was not able to find an instance of it using the Star Wars search engine. If I find this POI in my game, I will let you know, and please leave a comment if you find it. Next, visit landmark quests easily. Let's stay with POIs for the moment. I never really looked at the collectible globes in the game, and I think I only visited landmarks that were directly associated with the main quest. Well, the following mod has changed all that. It's a really old mod at this point, but it still works flawlessly. New Landmark Quests is available on Nexus Mods. There are two versions of this mod. I chose the one that's a little more on the spoiler cheaty side, but I don't care. This version adds 10 books for sale at the Sinclair bookstore in Aquila City. Buying each book grants an activity to find an associated landmark on Earth. For example, the book The Ancient Civilization of Egypt shows where to find the pyramids of Giza. Here's an Xedit screen capture showing all 10. 5 of the books are new, and 5 are repurposed. This is a great way to interact with POIs that you might have skipped during your playthrough. Thank you, Carneria, for this mod. Next, get directions from NPCs. While checking out the last mod, I noticed that Carneria had published another mod, which added some fun functionality to the game. Connor's Ordinary Conversations Seek Out Stores is available on Nexus Mods. This is another old mod, but it's a great addition to the game. In certain cities, you can speak with NPCs and ask them for directions to city POIs. When you select a place to visit, the game adds a quest marker and highlights the path. This is really helpful if you are just starting out in the game, or if you want to find a place that you haven't visited previously. It worked flawlessly for me at New Atlantis. I did some limited testing in Aquila City, where it did not appear to work. It should have, though. The mod should also work in Neon and Cydonia. I'll probably do some more testing. Next, fly higher with Jetpacks. I saw that a different Jetpack mod had been published on Nexus Mods, although it appears to be a release of a version that has been on Creations for several months. I've tried other Jetpack mods, but they seemed clunky. This one by Naruk just seems to work and maintain boost a lot better. Jetpacks is available on Creations and Nexus Mods. I'm not sure I will keep this in my load order, but if you want a jetpack that will let you boost to arbitrary altitudes with a little fuss, this one is for you. Next, debug with a pistol. I'm always looking for mods that help me interact with the Starfield engine and scripting system. Modder Days Zero released a tool that lets you fire a pistol at a target and collect form ID data. The Dubious Debugger is available on Nexus Mods. The version I tested provides the base ID, which is the blueprint version in the game, and the reference ID, which is the instantiation of the item in the game. For example, you could tell the game to spawn 10 potatoes using player.addItem 382610, where 3826 is the base ID. Each potato will have a different reference ID, and that is what you would interact with in-game. Anyway, this is a neat little tool to get base and reference IDs without opening the console. Thank you, Day Zero. Next, the 6-week patch cycle and likely DLC announcement. There's been some discussion about just when Bethesda said anything about ending its 6-week patch cycle. Bethesda announced the 6-week patch process in their 2023 end-of-year statement. It ended when Todd Howard, director at BGS, announced the end of the cycle on the Mr. Matty Plays podcast, published on June 16th, 2024. I've linked to the spot in the video in the description below. Also, the buzz seems to be that the most likely time to hear about new Starfield content will be at Gamescom, an industry event in late August. I covered the Shattered Space news from the last Gamescom, which featured Tim Lamb, lead creative producer for Starfield. He appeared with several hosts who asked him questions about the game and Shattered Space DLC. By the way, if you could watch that video, even if only for a few minutes, I would greatly appreciate it. It's only one of 2 videos in the last year that have not had at least 1,000 views, and it's so close. My other video with those characteristics is this one, export, save, and back up your Xbox character. I think the second video is even more important because it shows how to use the Xbox or PC app to back up your character and create saves that can be used in Steam. I keep backups of all my Xbox characters this way in case something happens to my Microsoft or Xbox accounts. Next, Starfield moves up again in Nexus Mods. Starfield has passed Monster Hunter World to become the 13th most downloaded game on Nexus Mods, with 85.3 million versus 84.5 million. Morrowind is next, with 88.1 million. A month ago on May 9th, Starfield had 78.5 million, and Morrowind had 83.2. This growth differential implies Starfield has a chance to pass Morrowind, despite the big difference and the fact that creations are a factor. The previous month on April 1st, Starfield had 75 million. Let's remember that Bethesda's creation site is hosting 3,835 mods at the time of recording, and from mod authors we know they get anywhere from 5 to 20 times as many downloads on creations compared with Nexus Mods. Also, for future reference, the Watchtower creation by Kingath Creations is approaching 1.1 million plays on Xbox and PC. We don't have comparable download statistics on creations, so I will keep my eye on this bit of data. And finally, awesome Starfield live-action concept trailer. I saw this and had to share it with you. This is a concept trailer by Vaultus Studios for a live-action Starfield show. I'm not doing it justice by showing a fragment here. Please visit the link in the description and watch the original with the dialogue and score. This trailer shows that Starfield has the lore, characters, and setting that would make an excellent streaming series. I've been stating since the Fallout TV series that the new Bethesda playbook for its core properties has 4 elements: computer role-playing game, mobile game, online game, and TV series. For Fallout, we have Fallout 4 and 3, etc., Fallout Shelter, Fallout 76, and Fallout on Amazon Prime Video. For Starfield, it would look like this: Starfield, Starfield Mobile, Starfield Online, and Starfield, perhaps on Amazon Prime Video. What do you think? Thank you, Vaultus Studios, for letting me include this excerpt. And thank you to all my subscribers. Please consider subscribing to show YouTube that you enjoy positive and honest Starfield content. Special thanks to all channel members. I hope you are enjoying our private Discord server. If you'd like to know more about membership, click the join button on the channel. There is no obligation. Anything you and YouTube gives me goes back to this channel, whether it's to buy hard drives for capturing footage or acquiring creations to review. What have you been doing in Starfield? Your insights make this channel a place for positive and honest discussion of this game. In addition to videos, I also post to the community tab for this channel on a daily basis. If you subscribe, you will see these posts in your YouTube feed. If you made it to this part of the video, please leave a comment with the word HOPE. Also, remember to ring the bell icon and select all notifications. I'm not gonna lie, I get choked up whenever I see that scene in Shawshank. Also, check out my other videos, and please tell your friends about the channel. My name is Richard. I will see you in the Starfield.